Okay, let's all take a collective deep breath. Because if you're anything like me, the past few months in the tech world, especially in AI, have felt less like innovation and maybe more like a chaotic, high-speed chase.
Oh, definitely.
My inbox is just overflowing with product launch announcements, and the sheer pace of competition is, well, frankly, it's a little stress-inducing.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
And that feeling of overwhelm, that's exactly why we're doing this deep dive today. Our mission here is to try and cut through all that noise, to bring some real clarity based on what we've seen in market analyses and industry reports. We really want to address the most critical question, I think, facing product builders right now. What do I build and why will it win?
The velocity is just it's truly breathtaking, isn't it? I mean, we've seen Notion launch competitors to Granola, even ChatGPT. Figma went after Canva and Illustrator.
Right? Atlassian, Google, OpenAI, Anthropic, they're all dropping new products and often, yeah, directly competing with each other, and sometimes, like you said, even with their own customers. It's wild.
And what's fascinating from the data we've looked at, it's not just the big players, right?
Mm.
There's also this horde of startups, well-funded, popping up with surprising speed in like every single category you can imagine.
And the consequences are very real and
Mhm.
very fast. You look at companies like Chegg and Stack Overflow, which were once, digital giants. They've seen their value just plummet, like over 90% in a matter of months.
Wow.
That kind of rapid collapse really highlights just how urgent it is to find a truly winning strategy. Because the old playbooks, well, they just aren't enough anymore.
Okay, so to craft that winning strategy, we first have to really understand the battlefield itself. The insights we've pulled from various reports, they consistently describe this current competitive environment as a brutal AI knife fight.
Hmm.
A landscape so challenging, one source even likened it to Gettysburg. So what makes this battleground so uniquely difficult?
Well, it's unlike anything I've seen before, really. You've got these incredibly fast, huge incumbents, think Microsoft, Google, Meta.
Right.
Then there are these new, massive, horizontal platforms like ChatGPT and Anthropic, just kind of eating up major use cases left and right.
Oh,
And the foundational shifts in the tech, they're happening monthly, not yearly anymore. Plus, like you said, those hordes of well-funded startups, five or six popping up in every category, getting traction from YC, like every single cohort.
wow.
It just makes finding a competitive advantage, I'd say, easily 10x harder than even previous highly competitive eras. I remember the buzz when HubSpot launched their CRM maybe a decade ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
Everyone thought they were, bonkers to even try. That space seemed totally saturated then.
Right.
But now HubSpot CRM is used by, over 50% of companies? That felt like a tough fight back then. But honestly, what we're seeing now feels like a different galaxy altogether.
So if this fundamental question, what do I build and why will it win, is so critical, so non-negotiable, why does it seem like so many product teams get kind of lost in the weeds, bogged down in the tactical work, almost forgetting this core mission?
That's a really sharp observation. And it's fascinating because that question was always the core job of product managers. It really was. It just maybe got a bit obscured over the years by, the sheer volume of project management, agile processes, all that stuff.
Hmm.
Sean Claus, he's the chief product officer at Confluent, put it perfectly in an interview we looked at. He said, "You're constantly trying to get ahead. You're trying to find the angle, the question that has not yet been asked, that gives you an insight that is not being actioned by other people."
Ah, okay.
And that last part is absolutely critical. The insight has to be in action by others. That's what gives you a real competitive advantage.
Okay, so given this intense AI knife fight where true advantage seems, well, pretty fleeting, the sources we reviewed point out two common traps product teams fall into with AI. Trap number one is trying to reinvent the AI wheel. So building custom models, infrastructure, when you maybe don't need to.
Right. Unnecessarily complex.
And trap number two, kind of the opposite extreme, is just copying and pasting basic AI features. Just adding a generic chatbot to your product.
Yeah, just checking the box.
Exactly. So if those are the traps, what's the actual path to winning here?
Well, the answer, thankfully, seems to lie in this middle ground. And it's about treating AI like a series of Lego blocks.
Lego blocks, okay.
Yeah. The strategy isn't about building your own AI from the ground up or just slapping on a generic feature. It's really about how you assemble differentiated AI features and products, how you integrate the best available AI capabilities with your product's own data and functionality.
Ah, okay. Integration is key.
Crucially, yes, your competitive advantage comes from what is uniquely yours. Those three things.
Right.
Your data, your functionality, and your deep understanding of unmet customer needs. The AI itself, that's just one ingredient. It's not the secret sauce.
Okay, I like that. This Lego block approach sounds like a really practical way to think about building. So, what's the very first Lego piece we need to consider? And maybe more importantly, what's the big caveat that lots of teams seem to miss about it?
Right, so here's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
The first piece is simply the AI capabilities themselves. There are a ton of these Lego pieces emerging every year, pre-trained models, audio processing, imaging processing, and so on.
The shiny new toys?
Exactly. They feel magical. They can do incredible things. But, and this is the critical point, everyone has access to these.
Mm,
So while they're absolutely core to any AI product, they are not the source of your differentiation. They're just table stakes, really.
got it. So if that first block, the AI capability, is basically available to everyone, what's the next piece of this Lego puzzle? The one that starts to build actual uniqueness?
That starts with the second piece, your data. This is where real uniqueness begins to emerge. See, your unique data provides context to an AI model. It allows it to generate truly unique output, tailored output. The more unique your data, the more unique the output you can create for your customer. It's pretty direct.
So what kind of data are we talking about here?
Well, it could be real-time data that just isn't in the big training sets. User-specific data, obviously. Domain-specific data, think specialized legal documents or healthcare records, stuff that only your systems might have access to.
Right, proprietary stuff.
Exactly. And even human judgment data, things like curation, reinforcement learning based on user feedback. And the key here isn't just about having a ton of data. It's about the marginal value of your data over what's already baked into those huge general models. What extra insight does your data provide?
Makes sense. It's about the quality and uniqueness, not just volume. So beyond the AI capability and the unique data, what's that third and final Lego piece? The one that turns these insights into a truly distinct product experience.
That third piece is your functionality. This is what determines how the AI actually behaves within your product. It gives your product superpowers, so to speak.
Superpowers, I like that. Like what?
Well, think about specialized workflows that are unique to your users, unique algorithms you might have developed, specific business rules, critical integrations with other systems. All these things are baked directly into your product, and they control how the AI is used and what it can actually do within your user's context.
Okay, so it's how you deploy the AI.
Exactly. And the real magic happens when these pieces aren't just, standalone blocks. They need to work together as a dynamic system, almost like a flywheel.
A flywheel? How so?
Well, think about it. Your unique data informs the AI's understanding, right? Helping it generate that unique output. And that unique output, in turn, helps you build an additional repository of even more unique data. So it creates this continuous flow, this data flywheel.
Ah, I see. The output feeds back into the input.
Precisely. And then on the other side, your functionality controls the AI's actions. It dictates how your product interacts with the AI when it calls the AI to create, hopefully, a delightful user experience. And increasingly, the AI can also call tools within your product's functionality. So these two elements, data and functionality, work together tightly as a system. That's where the differentiation really comes alive.
Okay, that paints a much clearer picture. Data and functionality working together, powered by accessible AI. So let's take all this theory and maybe ground it with a real-world example. Granola came up earlier. This product got significant traction, significant funding, which is pretty remarkable because it jumped into a market that was already flooded,
It's
right?
totally flooded.
Fathom Otter, Fireflies, even the big guys like Zoom and Meet adding their own native AI note-taking. So what did Granola do differently?
Yeah, it's a great case study if we connect this back to the bigger picture. Granola's initial win really came from identifying and meeting a truly unmet customer need.
Unmet in a crowded market.
Yeah, sounds counterintuitive, right? But when they entered, most products were focused on, replacing the full job of note-taking. The user basically wanted the product to take all their notes for them.
Okay, the full automation play.
Exactly. But Granola realized there was a different, more specific need. Users were thinking, look, I don't want you to take all my notes. I just want you to help me take better notes.
Right.
Empower me around this specific task. They honed in on that precise insight, that specific user desire.
Interesting. So less about replacement, more about augmentation for a specific user type. And they did this by assembling those Lego blocks we talked about, right? How did they do it?
They did it quite cleverly. So for their AI capabilities, Block 1, they just used off-the-shelf stuff. DeepGram for transcription, Anthropic and OpenAI for other functions.
So no fancy custom models.
Nope. No unique models, no heavy custom training needed initially. Their brilliance was really in Granola's data, Block
Hmm.
2. They combined the user's actual notes, what the person was typing, with the transcribed meeting audio. That created really unique context for the AI.
Ah, combining user input with the raw audio.
Right. And this allowed the AI to generate much better enhanced notes, which then formed this valuable repository for new features. Things like chatting across multiple meetings, creating project workspaces, triggering downstream actions. That spun up their flywheel of unique context, just like we discussed.
Okay, that makes sense. And what about the functionality piece, block 3?
For Granola's functionality, they built a Mac app. This was key. It could automatically detect when meetings started and, crucially, access the system sound for transcription.
So it was seamless for the user.
Exactly. It put the AI right there, exactly at the user's moment of need, without friction. They also integrated with calendars to pull in metadata like attendees, which enriched the context even further.
Got it. So accessible AI plus unique data context from user notes plus audio plus smart functionality via the Mac app and calendar integration.
Absolutely. Granola's success wasn't about having some superior secret AI model. It was really about uniquely assembling those readily accessible AI capabilities with their specific unique data and functionality, all aimed at solving that previously unmet customer need. That's the core lesson here.
Okay, but this raises a really crucial point, maybe a tough one. Is granola actually going to survive long term? I mean, you said yourself, I have no idea.
All right.
That initial assembly of unique Lego blocks, as clever as it was, probably isn't enough in this environment, is it?
No, definitely not.
The sources suggest the real moat today, the key to winning, is something called continual sequencing. What's that about?
Precisely. You nailed it. Companies have to leverage their initial unique Lego bricks, that first advantage they built, to then build another unique set. And that they have to constantly evolve.
Layering advantages.
Exactly. And we're already seeing Granola try to do this, right? They've started creating project and team workspaces. They're integrating downstream actions like pushing tasks to a CRM. They're even experimenting with things like auto-updating company wikis based on meeting content.
Hmm.
They're trying to layer new, unique use cases on top of that initial foundation they built.
It sounds relentless.
It is. Jamin Ball from Ultimator Capital, he summed it up perfectly in a piece we analyzed.
Okay.
He said, and I'm paraphrasing slightly, the real moat is just a sequence of smaller modes stacked together.
Okay.
Each one buys time. What you do at that time, how fast you execute, how quickly you evolve, determines whether you stay ahead. And here's the kicker. If the moat used to be 6 to 12 months, today it's maybe 2 to 3 weeks.
2 to 3 weeks. Wow, that shift in timescale is just, it's mind-boggling.
It really is. And it raises a really important question for you, the listener, right? Given this incredibly rapid pace, how are you thinking about continuously building and evolving your product's unique advantages? It's not a one-and-done thing anymore.
Definitely not. Okay, so let's try to summarize the core takeaways then for winning in this intense AI space. Beyond just, feeling a bit stressed out about it all. First, it sounds like you absolutely must start with identifying those unmet customer problems. That's still fundamental product work. That's your blueprint.
Always step one.
Second, you need to understand what general AI capabilities are out there that could potentially solve those problems in new, novel ways.
Know your tools.
Third, and this seems critical, what proprietary data do you uniquely possess that can power those solutions and actually make them different?
Your unique ingredient.
Fourth, what superpowers can your product's existing or new functionality give to that AI? How can you make it act in a unique way?
The good scroll system.
And finally, number 5, how do you strategically assemble those 3 foundational Lego blocks? Your unique data, your unique functionality, leveraging those general AI capabilities, all guided by that deep understanding of the unmet customer needs.
That's the assembly strategy. You got it. Maybe to leave you with a final thought here. In an environment where competitive advantage might only last weeks, the real challenge isn't just building one great product. It's about building the capability to continuously understand and adapt to changing customer needs, leverage your unique assets, and just innovate faster than anyone else. Your competitive edge now is probably measured less in the size of your moat and more in the speed of your sequencing. How fast can you build the next small moat?